I've got a new design. Please make sure that you are working in your personal IED folder, and we are also in the folder Fusion Tip Skills. I'm going to have you guys name this tip number 2, loft and offset plane. I'm going to go ahead and call this one V2 for myself because I've already done one as a practice. Okay, and now I can close my data panel so that I've got this nice full screen. All right, so for a loft, you basically need 2 sketches that are on planes that are offset from each other. So I'm going to go ahead and start by creating a sketch. I'm actually going to use this polygon tool here just for fun, and we'll just start with a hexagon. And then I will go ahead and create, not that one yet. We've got to first create a construction plane, or specifically we're going to create an offset plane. It's this first option here, and it's usually the default button up here. What we're going to do is we can create an offset plane. We can select any of these standard planes that come with our drawing, or we can use the sketch that we just made. I'm going to go ahead and use the sketch, and I'm going to drag this up, and let's just go ahead and make that about 3 inches above where we started. Okay. Now I am going to create a sketch on this plane, this new offset plane. And one other thing that I'm going to do is project under here, under the create menu. I'm going to go to project, which you can see that's a hotkey P. And I just want to project this center dot right here so that I can line right up on it. And now I'm going to go ahead and make a circle like that, just to see. And so now I've got my 2 separate sketches here, and you can see this is the construction plane that I made. And now what we're going to do is create menu, go to loft, and I'm going to select my 2 profiles. So I'm going to select this one and then this one. And now you can see that we just have a shape that starts out as a hexagon and then it blends into a circle at the top here. Okay, now for the next one that we're going to do, we are going to create a loft between 2 sketches. I'm going to go ahead and go back to that original plane that I was on. This time I think I'll start with a circle just for fun. And I'm also going to make sure to dimension from the center to here. I want to make that exactly 4 inches just so that I know where this circle is starting from. And let's see, I'm also going to go ahead and make it, let's see, collinear with this. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. Okay, and now what I want to do is make an offset plane, but I'm going to, instead of making it directly above this circle, I'm going to make it perpendicular to that circle. I'm going to bring this over, and since I know that the center of my circle is 4 inches away from my origin, I'm going to make this distance 4 inches, and so it's going to line right up on the center of that circle. And now I'm going to create a sketch on my new plane that's perpendicular here. And let's go ahead and do just a rectangle. Actually, let me use a center rectangle, because then I can make it nice and centered with that dot there. Whoop, like that. And I'm realizing that this is going to not work very well because I accidentally made my construction line, or my construction plane, directly above instead of offset. So if I try to do this, that's going to look kind of awkward. But I can actually go back to that offset plane and select it here. And instead of making it 4 inches away, let's go ahead and make it like 7. Yeah, 7 inches away should be good. Click OK. And now we actually have something that's more angled. So you can see you can always go back in there and fix that, change that around. Maybe I'll make it 6 inches, and that looks That looks good there. I can also always go back in and even move my profile if I want to, and that's changed the shape as well. So you can always keep going back in and editing the things that are in your timeline down here. So instead of making a new design or new object or anything, just go back and edit the original one. You don't have to keep adding on and adding on. Okay, now we're going to do the final one where instead of just going at a straight line, we're actually going to follow some kind of a path so that it can loft in a curve if you wanted, for example. So I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to keep using this same XY plane that I've been using. And to space it out, I'm going to go ahead and just use, let's see, we'll start with a center rectangle, which is down under here, here we go, under rectangles. It's that center rectangle. I like that one best, just because I can always line things up right on the center. And there is my center rectangle, which, let's make sure that this is 10 inches. There we go. And then I can also, just to make sure that this is going to be lined up, I'm going to make this point collinear with this line. Will it let me do that? That's okay. I think it should still work. Okay. And then now, of course, I need to have an offset plane that is perpendicular, and I'm going to bring it all the way over to here. We'll call it, how about 15 inches? That should do. Yeah, that should work just fine. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do a sketch on that new plane. And since everything's all nice and lined up in the same place, that makes it easy to work with. I can also hide these other bodies by clicking on the little eyeballs there to make it less busy. And then let's do an ellipse this time. And I want to line it up right above that dot. And then I'm going to sketch my ellipse. And there we go. There's my little ellipse. Finish. And back. And now, this time, what we're going to do is give ourselves an actual path between these 2 points. So I'm going to create a sketch, and I'm going to create it on this origin plane here. And I am going to pause my alarm. And so I'm going to hit the P key on my keyboard. So I just typed the P key for project, P for project, and I'm going to project these 2 dots here so that I can draw a line between them. Click OK. And I'm just going to use my arc tool. I like the 3-point arc because then I can just click the beginning and end, and then I can just adjust my arc as needed. Actually, I haven't tried one like this. That's kind of neat. Finish. Okay. And now what I should be able to do is create a loft from this sketch to this sketch. And then I'm going to select a rail. Because I drew this along the center of those profiles, I'm going to want to change this to center line. And then I should be able to select that curve. Ooh, it did not like that shape. That's okay. So hang on, let me cancel that real quick. I'm going to go back and edit this. I'm going to delete that arc. And let's try doing this arc. I think it didn't like how it was going like flat against, like it was rubbing against that line. So let's try this again now. Create, loft, boop, boop, and then we're changing our guide type to center line and selecting that line. There we are. And now I have this cool loft between two different shaped profiles. Very, very cool. I can unhide the other two bodies. I would like you to have in your screenshot, I want to see all of these steps. So I want you to show me all of your sketches, and I want to see all of these construction planes, and of course all of the bodies. And we can hit fit here. Actually, I can kind of zoom in on that just a little bit. And now you're going to go ahead and do a screenshot for me. Please make sure that in your screenshot I can see the whole view. I especially want to see all of these steps in the timeline down here, and I want to see all of these turned on so that I can see where your construction planes are and all of your sketches. And we should have a loft that's going straight up, or it could be straight to the side as long as the two profiles are parallel. And then I need to see one that is a straight line, but that the two profiles are perpendicular to each other. And then in the third one, profiles are perpendicular to each other, but they're following a path. Okay, and we're going to take a screenshot of that, and then you can submit that on Canvas. Thank you.